Hey guys, welcome to this weekly reading. I believe it's June 8th. It's for Monday, June 8th. I apparently lost a day somewhere. I'm still full moon hungover. Anybody else feel that way with the full moon that we just had? It was pretty intense. I felt pretty light the first day, and then the next day was pretty heavy again. So we're gonna just do the collective read where it's a love connection. You're in separation. You could be a twin flame, twin soul, soulmate, whatever label works for you. It is a general reading, so take what resonates, leave the rest. Some of it might be for you, some of it might be for someone else. I will be doing other videos, extension videos to this, honing in on what's happening with those that had a difficult parting, those that had a friendly parting, those that have not met, and those who have some kind of random communication and sometimes ghosting. And the information on how to get to those videos is in the description box below. They are featured to my patron community, so the information is there. You can also follow me on Instagram at Candi Wishman. Okay, so we're going to get right into it. I just want to see the energy of the collective. Okay. So we have assessing and we have surrender. One is very analytical, one is very not analytical. Very interesting. Okay. I feel like this is very much the divine masculine energy right now for all things in their life. I feel like they are, I love that there's a 9 here. When we become aware of something, we can never go back, okay? So I feel like they're really assessing things in their life. They're assessing themselves. They're assessing their relationships. They're assessing this connection. And then we have, I feel very much the divine feminine energy here in a state of surrender. We have the 26, so we have a 2 and a 6. We have sort of peaceful surrender and nurturing. Okay, so coming together and nurturing, peace, 2 sides coming together, the head and the heart. I feel like the masculines are shifting into a place of trying to, sorry if the light's glaring on this guy's out here. Maybe I'll have to just do this a little bit. Maybe it doesn't make it too dark, I hope. Oh, now it's too dark. Okay. Well, we'll just have to deal with the glare a little bit. I apologize. So, I feel like the masculines, like if you remember when you kind of woke up to this connection, or you started to wake up and the things in your life didn't really suit you anymore. You started assessing things. You started really looking into things and sort of taking an inventory. And I feel like that's kind of where the masculines are at moving into this week. And then the feminines, we have an energy of surrender of, I've done everything I feel I can do at this moment. I'm going to hand it over to the universe and let it guide me from here, from this moment. I do love that we have a 33 and we have a blossoming on the bottom. Okay. So, this is a very powerful energy, this, 33. Okay. It's a power number. It's, a master number, if you will, a wisdom number. So there is underlying everything, we do have blossoming happening. So let's take a look at where the feminines are at this week. So I'm just going to do this. Moving into this surrender and acceptance. There is a heaviness. I'm not sure it belongs solely to the feminines though. Okay, so be mindful of that. So, yeah. Okay, so we got quite a few coming out. The first one that popped out that made a huge appearance was the Tower. Okay, so Aries and Scorpio, this could be something that affects you guys more this week. Okay, that your sign might come up. Take it as it resonates. Know that things are happening for you. There's unexpected change. Okay, beliefs are being challenged. Tearing down false foundations and new awareness of self. Okay, I don't know how that's going to necessarily show up for you. It could show up in a myriad of ways. All right, so it could be showing up with something happening with your masculine, sure. But I feel something, at least the way I've experienced things, it's been a lot of things around my own beliefs of self, my own understanding of things. And you know, I still struggle with, I'm still struggling. I still feel that inner child in me having temper tantrums once in a while when things don't go my way, right? So it's little towers like that. But when it came out, I didn't feel like it was like this magnanimous, I don't know where that word's coming from, but this, I don't feel like it was this huge, how do I put this? I don't feel like it's like a huge, you know, life or death tower moment. I feel like there are a bunch of little tower moments that we're surrendering to, or maybe we're being forced into surrender. Okay. Then we have the Page of Pentacles. Okay. So we have earth signs here. So this is good news. This is manifesting opportunities. When towers fall, there's an opportunity to build anew. It clears the way, right? I mean, you still have to clean up the rubble, but it's learning from past mistakes. So where has the past, not really served you, or what decisions have you made in the past that haven't really served you, even in regards to your divine masculine? Okay, we have the Eight of Swords, self-imposed entrapment. Okay, how are your emotions blocking you from moving forward in your own life? And this isn't necessarily about walking away from the connection. I don't believe that. I feel sometimes that's very helpful. It helps you reconnect to yourself, okay? I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that, okay? But the concept is that you're always connected, okay? You're always going to have that connection, but maybe it's a physical separation that you need. But I feel like so many are done with this whole yo-yo, I'm all in, I'm all out, I'm all in, I'm all out. And I feel like maybe that's why the energy is having us surrender, to just allow and kind of go, like, hold our ground, anchor our energy, and just go with the flow of the energy and let it move and process. You know, we tend to sometimes block things because we want to try and control them, because control means safety, okay? We have the Two of Pentacles, okay? A decision needing to be made, balancing the many aspects of yourself. All right, slow down and prioritize what's really important to you. And then the Ace of Pentacles, a prosperous new beginning. Create strong foundations. It's time to create that strong foundation for yourself. I'll put that over here. But in order to do that, you have to shed all of those things that keep you in lack and negativity. So if you're not really feeling all that great about yourself, or constantly doubting yourself, where do those things come from, and how can they be restructured to actually suit your narrative now? Sometimes surrendering will allow the universe to show you what's necessary. I feel so many of you are at this point where it's time to really take control of your life in a very different way, okay? Very interesting. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of reflective energy for the feminines. Let's kind of see where, you can surrender, where the energy of surrender can suit you the most. I'm going to see if I'll be able to shuffle these. They're a little bit thicker, but we do okay. What can be surrendered? Because we are asking to be surrendered. That's funny. Yeah. I mean, you're leading in, like, this week is taking you to building this new beginning. The new beginning is going to start, but I feel like there's still some things that need to be shed around where you're keeping yourself stuck in your life. Where are those beliefs? I feel like that's more around the tower moments. Those, you know, for me, this is going to sound so silly, but I cut my hair and I felt so much grief coming up, you know. I felt like I lost my femininity. I know how silly that sounds, but those are beliefs that had to come up, you know. Like, I could just feel the little towers in me, like, just trying really hard not to be upset about my hair. And then I finally just let myself be upset about my hair because other stuff came up. I was cutting hair, you know, that I've had for the last 3 years. And I went through my major spiritual awakening in the last 2 years. So I was actually cutting away parts of my old life. You know, I was having sort of like a funeral, a grieving moment for it. Whoops. Okay, we're going to be like that. Apparently it didn't want me to talk about my grieving hair loss. But I feel like it was important. So you never mind, spirit. Okay. All right, we're moving on. We're going into what you can surrender. Surrender to play. Take a break from overthinking a goal, doing something fun, or do something fun. Play is a time of recreation and rejuvenation. Okay. Bring a little, oh, I love this. We're going to get to that in a second. So I love this, guys. And the reason I love this, and I'll tell you why I love this, because we have been through, as the Divine Feminines, wave after wave after wave of purging, and it's exhausting. So I feel like we're going to be reflective. I feel like this week we're going to find a way to bring fun into your life. Like for me, I've been inspired by a few tarot readers on here. Conscious Evolution, she does some amazing stuff. I'm inspired. I want to do fun things like that. It's fun, right? So find something that allows you to tap into who you are, but have fun with it without any expectation, any goals. This is going to take you out of that heaviness of overthinking of things. And this might be how the divine wants to show you. You might be your most clear when you're open and you're having fun, okay? So look at that. Surrender to the magic of who you are. We all have magic in us, even in the mundane aspects of life. Remember that you are a magical being with a uniqueness and worth that come from just being you, okay? I'm going to be very, very honest about this. As twin flames, our soul, we have this subconscious, like unconscious, this underlying feeling that it's our job to save. It's our job to be better, to do better, to push ourselves, because we have a big mission in this lifetime, and we can't forget to be human and do playful human things, okay? I feel like we kind of forget that sometimes because this is serious work. We're purging a lot. And we're not just purging for ourselves. We're not just healing ourselves. We're healing the collective, and we're healing a lot of humanity. We're healing the earth. We're healing we're doing so much work in the work that we do that we forget sometimes to take a step back from all of these, we're constantly setting ourselves, like pushing ourselves, but sometimes we have to take a step back. And I feel like this week, if you want to feel lighter, if you want to, tap into something else, a little bit more of an inspirational energy, surrender. Okay, surrender to play, surrender to who you are, surrender to giving it up to, Jesus, take the wheel. Jesus, take the wheel. I think I'm probably going to name this whole reading, Jesus, take the wheel. Okay. All right, let's see where the masculines are at. We know that they're in a 9 space, so we know that their endings are beginning, right? We know that when you wake up to things, you can never go back. So they have to end. You have to move forward. But they're in a curious state. I say curious, but this is part of the heaviness that the Divine Feminines are feeling. They are overwhelmed, okay, by how much of their life is a mess. Okay, they're overwhelmed by every single aspect of their life. They're not just the only ones that are, I'm going to try this and the phone might die or my thing might hold. Okay. It's not just one thing. It's not just, this and that. It's relationships, romantic, familial, friendships. It's career. It's choices. It's everything. Everything's coming up for them, everything. So they're assessing a lot of stuff. So let's kind of get some information about where they're at also right now. Okay. Okay. Very, very interesting. The bottom, we have 9 of Cups. So they're being pushed from a place of being like they need to be happier, but they're not. Okay. Where did their happiness go? That's what I heard. Where did their happiness go? That's very interesting. Okay, so we have the 5 of Swords, but it did come out in reverse. Okay, so deceitful strategies, feeling guilty over the win, resentment, realizing there are no winners. Okay, finding their way to inner peace. For me, this is definitely about hollow victories. I don't know if it's gonna pick up on this card or not, but Okay, it's definitely about hollow victories because I feel like they've been fighting. I think they're realizing what I'm feeling is, and this is Aquarius, by the way, they're realizing that they've been fighting for something they don't even really want. They've been fighting for something they thought they had to fight for. And it has not paid for them. It's created chaos in their life. They could be dealing with people who have been deceitful with them, thrown them under the bus, stabbed them in the back, manipulated them to get their way, or continually manipulated to get their ways in little ways. Yeah, very interesting. Okay. Then we have the Lovers. Yeah. Okay, it came up right side up. So, I do feel like this is more about a choice. Okay, they're being given a choice. How do you want to proceed? Life is changing regardless. This is about divine union. This is about soulmates and falling in love and what have you. And I think there's a major contrast in their life right now between what they feel with you feminines and what they have in their life as it is. And I do feel like there's a lot of duality. They're at a crossroads. They're at a place where they could go one way or the other. Okay. Then we have the Seven of Cups. Yeah. Emotional confusion. That completely makes sense. Okay. Needing to move forward without knowing everything. But they're not quite there yet. They're still trying to wade their way through the fog of illusion, of all these, what could have been. How could, well, I obviously chose these for, why did I choose these? Blah, 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 right? Like we have these, and there's fear of making the wrong choice again. Okay. So all of that, it's very muddled right now. But it has to be more of a crucible. They're still in the crucible, guys. I feel like I said that last week. But then we have the Nine of Pentacles, okay? Wanting to be satisfied in life, but also wanting their independence. There's absolutely no independence here for them, whatever group this is. Sorry, this is Gemini, this is Scorpio, and this is Virgo. So there's absolutely no independence here. And it's not necessarily, I feel like some of them, I don't feel like it's that, I don't feel like it's necessarily that they're codependent. I think they're very capable. I think they've grown accustomed to having other people do things for them, but I don't think they have to. And I also feel like most of the time that they've gotten themselves in this situation, it's been out of duty and obligation, thinking that it was the right thing to do or what was expected. But like it would garner them respect, but it hasn't given them respect. Okay. And then we have the Two of Wands in reverse. We have Aries here. So insecurities, fear of taking the next step, stuck in fear of repeating the past decision mistakes. Makes sense. Their future is not their past, but they haven't figured that out yet. That's why they're assessing things. They're like, I don't want to repeat my mistakes. Why did I do this in the first place? Okay. And the feminines went about it, I feel, in a very, very different way. I feel it wasn't as much about repeating past mistakes as we couldn't live the life that we were living because it was draining our life force. I feel like it was a very different motivator, whereas the masculines are so ingrained in masculine societal expectations that, and they're so anchored that they don't feel the connection to self as much, so they have to go about it in a different way. But they are finding their way regardless, and they're being guided regardless, okay? It's just a very different experience for them. And of course, a majority of them are behind the feminines. Like the feminines have done all this work, and now the masculines are going in there because the feminines are getting more solid in their state. It's almost like when the feminines woke up, the masculines were very anchored in their energy. Okay, they were very anchored in their energy, in the physical energy, in the linear energy. They could hold space for the feminine. And now that the feminines pushing through and past their awakening, they're getting more solid in their self and anchoring their energy so that the masculines can wake up. All right, so what can they surrender to? Very interesting. Yep. So the first one, very interesting card, surrender to passion. Get out of your head and feel the fire in your belly. Focus on the people or activities that ignite your passion and let it flow. Yeah, and not surprisingly that it came forward with the obsessive thinker. Okay, you're obsessing about a person or situation. Turn the dilemma over to spirit. Doing so will help bring the clarity or even solve the problem. And I know predominantly the masculines aren't really watching this, but I know that their higher self is getting this information through you and your higher self feminines, okay? I love this because there's absolutely no passion in their life. There's absolutely nothing that makes them joyful or happy. Okay, and that's part of why they're assessing things. And I love that it's going to show up for them because they're going to start navigating their life based on how they feel about certain things. This is how I feel about this. This is how I feel about that. Okay, very much how the feminines are guided to do it, but with the masculines, it's going to be very cut and dry. There's not going to be a lot of emotional confusion once they get into their groove of things. And then we have this, which I also love. No matter how emotionally charged this situation, remain calm and don't contribute to the drama. Staying centered will help resolve the issue more quickly. There's a whole heck of a ton of drama going on in their lives. So I guess what's coming up for me to leave you guys off with this, just surrender. If you're feeling heavy, release it or transmute it. Just ask for that. Your brain does not have to know how. You can just ask for help with it. Find something playful to do. Get lost in those thoughts. Allow that to bring your higher self forward, or your cosmic self, or your inner self forward, and surrender. I feel like this is an opportune time for you to really receive messages that you need, feminines. And masculines, keep digging, keep assessing your feelings, let go of the obsessive thoughts. It's just your ego thinking that your life is about to end, and it's not. It's actually about to begin. So I hope that this has helped. Be your peace, love yourself, share your light, and have an amazing week.